Tipsy Rippers channel, where we do a little bit of everything, literally, maybe because we don't know what we're doing. And today we're going to talk about archery explosive targets, exploding targets, whatever you want to call it. You can actually shoot these with anything, doesn't have to be archery, but that's what I did for. A lot of people have been asking it for this video to explain it. It's very simple, but I'm pretty sure if you're here, you're looking for something like this, or like this. Most definitely, you're looking for something like this. So let's get started. Very essentials. You only need a few items for making these explosive targets. I'm just going to show a short demonstration, and I'm going to add a little disclaimer. But please watch the whole video till the end, because I want to explain all the problems I ran into, all the specifics. I'm not going to be able to give you specifics on the air pressure to use, but it's very, very, very simple what you need. So first off, you need to buy yourself a pack of these. But these are just some valve stems. You can buy a hardware store, Walmart, anywhere like that. So definitely get you a pack of those. You need a 1/2-inch drill bit. You might want to play with this a little bit. I found 11/16 was okay. Some different sizes. I found 1/2-inch worked for me, but you might want to go smaller or bigger. It depends on the cap you're kind of using. So I would definitely recommend playing out with this bit. So you need to make sure you have a drill bit, preferably a drill to use with the bit, and a bottle. So these are just like the 3 essential things, other than like something to pump up the bottle. I would recommend an air compressor, or an air compressor that you can shut off or make it set to a standard size. This is the DeWalt jump pack that I used. I recommend using something like this, or just a regular air compressor or pump. So with being said, I'm going to add links to the description for everything that I'm mentioning, so you can find these a little easier. Some things to make it easier. I'm going to show you what I started off with, and what I kind of evolved into, made everything a lot easier, a lot faster. So I just want to notate that you most likely will need some pliers as well. So, any kind of plier work, regular plier, needle nose, channel locks. If you want to make it easier, get yourself a valve stem puller. That made it so much easier to pull through the cap. I went through a lot of, we'll just say, trials and tribulations. But yeah, so basically it's very simple. To do this, I'd recommend caution when you're using an air compressor. What we used was one of those little converter battery charging compressors that we could actually set the pressure to. Everything's a little different, but I started off with a water bottle, so to get the pressure right. I could get about 100 psi 100 psi in these water bottles. I'll make a little bit longer clip, post it here.
What are you doing, video?
Yeah, I just want to see so I can remember. 70 psi, 2 liter. Alright, so to make it, so this is basically just going to be me explaining how to do this. Get yourself a piece of little wood, so when you drill through the cap, it makes it a little bit easier, a little safer. You can use a vise, you can use some vice grips. Obviously, I'm just going to use a cap, drill through the center. What I ended up using to actually, I progressed. I went from a water bottle, basic, simple water bottle. Then I tried few different things like Gatorade bottles, and then tried some different things. I recommend if you want a big explosion, you get like a Kool-Aid or like one of those high C containers. Those work the best. They seal the best. Milk jug doesn't seal that good. It also expands out too much. So if you want something that works the greatest, I would say like a cranberry juice one or apple juice. You know, those thicker jugs. With that being said, make sure that if you're going to use this for archery, that you're going to use a broadhead. I tried filled tips, and those thicker bottles, they just wouldn't pierce through it, so I recommend using a broadhead for sure. Filled tip just seemed to bounce off, and I noticed that whenever I was shooting, sometimes it'd knock over. So build yourself a little platform with a backstop, or build it. What I did was I actually just took a box and I cut the circle out. I stuck it in there and it kept it there perfectly, so it couldn't move. So I recommend that as well. I'm going to try out a bunch of disclaimers in here, but to get to it, all you really have to do is make sure this isn't frame. You can do it from either side. You're going to have to deburr this, because I did notice whenever you're trying to do this and you don't deburr it, you do have problems. So make sure when you drill your hole, make sure you try to go nice and slow. Try to get through there pretty clean. You're gonna go through a lot of messing around. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to make this video, try to make it short, but I want to inform as much as possible. So just make sure you drill. Try to go to the center. It don't gotta be precise. You want it as round as possible, so this didn't turn out the greatest, but you want it as round as possible. And all you're really doing, see, I got a short stem and I got a longer one. I preferred the longer ones. They're easier to grab, but you can really just push this through. So I don't know, I'll see if you can see this. There's a little groove right there that you want to pop up the cap to. So you want to make sure. That's why I recommend getting the valve stem, because some of these caps are real hard, but you can do it by hand, so it's not like it's impossible. And you want it to make a good seal. That's your biggest advantage, because that's all you're trying to do is seal this, and you're just going to compress it with air, and it's very simple. I actually got this idea from some Target company that did make these, but but that's all you have to do is get that seal in through there. There's like basically a space in between, this flange out here and the other flange. You'll see when you buy these. See if I can get it on these ones. You can kind of see it. It's real hard to see, but see that little flange right there? That's where you want to put that up through. So really, that's as simple as that. You're really just going to put this right on here, and you're going to have a lot of trouble getting this to seal. That's why I said try different bottles, because you might like different things. So I use a Kool-Aid bottle. I started out, honestly, the bigger bottles don't hold as much PSI. I don't know if that's a volume thing. Someone who's smarter than me can explain it, but I haven't tried it with a hand pump, so we're going to try it with a hand pump. But I even have a tester here to see how much PSI there is. But I just used an air compressor, so naturally that's all you do is you just pump it up. Yep, you can hear it. Putting air in there. You got to be careful, because this will explode on you. We had several explode and it hurts, so be careful. If you're using an air compressor, be very careful. Hand pump's nice, because then you can kind of get a judge of what you're doing. But it will get real hard. It will get super hard. See how it's still soft? So I'm just doing it with a hand pump for demonstration. If you're gonna put something in this bottle, it's not gonna hold as much air. So I put 100 PSI in the water bottles. I only got 70 PSI in the Kool-Aid. It was like 75 PSI, somewhere around there, 76. And then when I added stuff to it, that's the problem we had. So I mean, it's getting pretty hard. So you just pump it up, and then you literally just shoot it with something sharp. I mean, obviously you can shoot it with a gun, you can shoot it with anything. I'll show you a little video on this, and that's really all you do. So said, make sure you're safe when you're doing this. Make sure you're getting a seal on this top, and if you want, tape this cap on, because when you shoot this, your lid is going to go flying and you ain't getting this back. So you either buy a bunch of these, or you put the cap on. You can at least, it'll stay on the cap so you can find it a little easier. My recommendation is definitely test this out, because before my reveal party, we did fill up a couple. I painted them like pumpkins. It was October, so we were trying to make that a theme, and we tested out everything. I did rigorous tests, but the problem I had was it was raining, and the cap failed. So make sure you test the whatever you're using before you do it. I know you don't want to see the color, but make sure you test it, make sure it's holding air, because we had a lot of times it was leaking out. So definitely make sure you test that out. I definitely recommend that you get an air compressor that shuts off at a certain PSI, because it will help you. So it's as simple as this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it explains enough. If you need me to make like an actual video of me going over each and every trial I went through the water bottle, Gatorade bottle, then the Kool-Aid bottle, definitely let me know. I just figured this, I've had many people ask me about this, so I want to get it out there explaining how simple it is, and it's awesome. I mean, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button. We have some nice videos coming up for shed hunting. We got a new camera, as you can see. It's not the best sound, but we're just keeping it minimal. So please don't forget that like and subscribe button. Peace. Alright, so I wanted to notate that I forgot to talk about is what I used to basically make the color explosion. I'll link that in the description. It's just a baby reveal powder. You can get it in blue, you can get it in pink. I think I just got a 1 pound bag. It filled up maybe a quarter of the container, but it made a big explosion. So obviously I would definitely recommend you trying out the PSI, and especially with the powder. So maybe you can buy some samples. I just use flour for testing purposes. Flour works great, just to kind of get an idea how much PSI that you need for this. Definitely practice it, because if not, you're not going to have a big enough explosion, or you're going to have a dud. You want it to seal, so I definitely recommend it, but I'll put a link in the description.